let's welcome on board Sanjiv Bhasin as well to talk about what he's making of the markets. And Sanjiv, morning. Firstly, let's talk about the Delhi weather. 49 degrees, am I hearing that right?
We hit half a century, Aisha. It's terrible.
Oh
But,
my God.
as long as markets are kind, we will bear the weather. But it's never happened. 49.9, almost 50. You can imagine what it is, and how much ever your ACs and everything. But Touchwood Power has been at a very strong supply, so we've catered to that. But I think it's part and course. Aisha, the more you see this heat wave, it will get rid of a lot of the illnesses. The crops will do well. So I guess another month we will have to bear this. Not that's high, but maybe slightly lower. But we live in good times now.
Yeah, I was wondering, it's only May end. It's already so scorching. But Sanjeev, what about the market? When do we see further scorching moves? Do we have to wait for the election verdict now? Because we've gone very, very sideways and range bound for the index per se.
So Aisha, that is what I told you. I mean, I thought 23,000 and above will be little frothy. They will be profit booking, and it's not sustainable. Now, obviously, the big verdict is on the 4th. We will be in your studio trying to diagnose what it is, but that will be all about beyond anybody's reality. I still think the Indian markets are, going to be stock specific. Don't see big moves on the index. The bank nifty has actually been the real mover due to HDFC Bank, and I think that may continue. But we've seen an equalizing effect on Reliance. So we still think HDFC Bank, Hindustan Lever, Marico, these are stocks which are going to outperform the whole Aditya Birla Group. Ultratech hit a new high. So stock specific, don't rule out another 200-300 point correction before the 4th. So be prepared for some volatility as we head into tomorrow's expiry. But select stocks will continue to outperform. Aisha, by the way, my 9.5 rupee Ratan Power has hit a circuit at 1660. I gave you a target of 18. Whoever has made 80% watching your channel, please do book some profits.
Book profits on Ratan India. It's already given you fabulous returns from those 9 odd rupees that Sanjeev did recommend. But Sanjeev, the big, value pick for you was also Vodafone India. Tell us, what are you recommending there now?
Don't sell below 22. Look, the price hikes are around the corner. The capital infusion has given them a huge sense of, breath or a reinfusement of confidence in the company, in the group. The group is doing well. You cannot have ARPUs at 140 against Bharti's 200. A, B, the net debt to banks is just less than 4,000 crore. There will be some more amount of outage over the next 1 year. But I think they are well and truly on path to become maybe EBITDA positive, cash flow positive over the next 1 year. Now, in this encumbrance, you will see the return of a lot of users. And thirdly, the 5G expansion is going as per plan. I think all the meters fit perfectly. The underlying icing on the cake is going to be the AGR outlook. If the AGR gives you that 40% relief, I think this stock can be re-rated very, very fast. But on all declines around these levels, this is a must-have in your portfolio. 22 rupees is coming by the end of this year.
Okay, so Vodafone Idea is a must-have in the portfolio. But Mr. Bhasin, I wanted to ask you about the Modi stocks, as CLSA has been labeling them, and this includes all those infrastructure, railway, defense, PSU kind of stocks which have done quite well of late. What would be your recommendation for that? Do you continue holding them and expect the momentum to really take them higher, or perhaps book some profits there?
No, Anisha, I am of the view you must book profits. We have them core in our portfolio, but they are 7-8 times. You cannot expect this. The problem is that there has been huge underperformance. Look at the metals. In this last 1 month or 2 months, you've seen everyone scramble for metals when they're hitting new highs. So where were they sleeping at 80 rupees on sale or 90 rupees on Nalco? It means large part of the mutual fund basket has missed the metal rally. So is the PSU basket, where the so-called big PMSs have not done anything. And I am very, very, very now sanguine that there must be profit booking. You are factoring 2 years earnings, and any little bit of capex miss will see earnings also flatten. These are very good themes, but I think they need a pause. They need some correction. So I am not very bullish on PSUs. I think you should take some money home. Private banks, FMCG, Real estate, as like in Vodafone, India Bull Real Estate, there are enough ideas I can throw at you. Those are looking, but FMCG, private banks, and specialty chemical, those are three themes which we think can outperform.
Sanjeev, just wanted to draw your attention on some of the pharma names as well, because that also seems to be turning the corner. We spoke about Glenmark and Divi's yesterday too. They saw a very smart follow through. Any picks here?
Yes, Aisha, I think they have done exceedingly well. And that left the people who thought that it was a one-off because of COVID. I think in the last 1.5 years, Pharma has been the biggest outperformer. And it has played out its mantle perfectly as being the largest exporter also, rather than IT. I continue to have an overweight on Cipla, and Lupin is our dark horse, which we think can scale another 30% from here. So we are putting our money on Lupin. Biocon is in our portfolio, which has done very well from that 240, 250, and so is Syngenta. So we think these 3-4 plays are very strong. But the broader index, I would still recommend the Pharma Index Fund, that is by SBI and Nippon. That has done exceeding well. If you bought a pharma fund, you are in generic, you are in diagnostic. So a fund would do well here rather than individual stocks, unless you have the mantle for more risk, because they are all hitting new highs.
Okay, point taken. So that's a view coming in on some of the pharma stocks as well. Mr. Bhasin, have you been tracking Eureka Forbes and Hindalco closely? Because today both of them are in news. Eureka reported a very good set of numbers under Mr. Pota, and Hindalco, of course, no will is surprised with the IPO.
So, Anisha, I am tracking Hindalco very actively. In fact, if you recall, in last week of February, Hindalco came down all the way, crashing to 500 on the back of some FI report that Novelis capex will reduce EPS and so on. We put out a big buy there. We said this cannot be. The Novelis arm is performing brilliantly, and if there is any dilution, it will only add to their overall, outperformance. Hindalco is the lowest cost CT, it does TCRC margins. It's the lowest cost aluminium producer not in India, in the world, in Renukut, the plant. And I thought that will play out brilliantly because power and others, and that has played out exceedingly well. We have a buy on Hindalco on declines, and we think that Novelis issue will be a huge upside. Has already seen a re-rating. We expect further re-rating from here. Hindalco, Vedanta, both are in our core portfolios as a disclosure.
Sanjeev, all the buzz this morning, newspaper reports, of course, so unconfirmed, that it seems that Adanis are wanting a piece of Paytm. Are you going to relook at that, or is it a closed chapter now? Paytm, that is.
Aisha, unfortunately, it's a closed chapter. We did not succeed in Paytm or Z. We booked out and suffered humble losses. But I still think Paytm as a business, once it comes in the big tooth hand, I think Reliance is now seeing how Jio is performing. It's a threat to the Swiggies and the Zomatos of the world, because these people have deep pockets. Their expansion is pan-India. Mukesh Ambani and Adani are the only two people who can think of 100 crore people. So if you have such a big vision, then when fintech launches, apps are going to be the in thing. So all the best. I think if it does, it will actually give a lot of relief to long-term shareholders. I think the present management was a disaster, and ego let them come in front of actually shareholders' value.